What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button. Smack it. Lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at any point during the show, you can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we could talk about whatever's on your mind. JB, also known as Justin Bieber. We could talk about your sins. We could talk about the late, great Donald Trump. We can get into whatever you want. You can call in. And if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. Send question or comments there, or go directly to YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button. Also send your question or comments there, and I'll read them live on air. Okay? Live on air. And we'll get into it. We'll break it down. We'll do what we got to do. Okay, what's today? Today's Monday. What's that mean? Grace and Mercy Monday? What does that mean? We get into that good word. We get into that spiritual stuff. It's all spiritual on Grace and Mercy Monday. That's what we doing today, all right? I got some, listen. Today, I'm going to answer the question of why you keep sinning. I'm going to answer the question today. Listen. I think I truly believe that I have the answer onto why you keep sinning. And I'm going to break it down to the T. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to make sense of it. And we're going to get free. All right? But before we do that, a little news, just to start it off, just to get warmed up. I want to give you guys a little news real quick. This is something light. This is from X. Justin Bieber is in the news right now because of the fact that they're thinking that he's losing his mind or whatever. I never really trust the media because they make up stuff. They could be right, it could be wrong, but people online all over the place, the media, people, the social networks, the social platform, everybody's just talking about how Justin Bieber is like losing his mind and, all kinds of stuff. Well, this is from X. Justin Bieber confronts paparazzi in front of a coffee shop. I thought this little interaction was interesting. Here we go. Let's get to it.
Money, get out of here, bro. Money. All you want, don't care about human beings. All you want is money. Go, get out of here. All you guys want is money. Money. Get out of here, bro. Okay. Get out of here, money. That's all you care about, money? That's all you care about, guys. What do you know? It's money. You don't care about people. Only money. No people. You don't care about human beings. Go.
Right there you see a ticked JB. And he goes up to the paparazzi that's saying, all you guys care about is money. And he's right about that. They don't really care about your livelihood. They don't care about your privacy. They get paid to do a job, which is to exploit you, and they make good money from it. So they're doing a job. And I think they're more doing a job than they are trying to be evil. But it does come across as evil. It does, because you're all up in my business. But nevertheless, you got to understand too, JB, and I'm sure he does. He's probably just frustrated. You got to understand that that's the life you chose. That's the life you signed up for. You don't get to want attention, right? Want love, but can't accept the hate that comes with it. You can't want everyone to know your name and know everything about you, but be mad when they invade your privacy. It's the life that you choose, and it's the life that you want. It's really the life that you want, except now when there's conflict that comes with the life that you want, you're upset about it. And you can't be, because that's the pros and cons to fame, right? That just comes with the territory. Now, is that excuse the behavior of paparazzi? No, it doesn't. Get out my business, boy. Why you all up in my grill? Why you need to? Where's your conscience? Where's your morals at? You'll sell a story for a quick $1, and there's hell to pay that they for that too. But you can't really be mad as an entertainer that people are in your face. You wanted that lifestyle. So I say I like Justin Bieber. Everybody got their issues, right? I like Justin Bieber. Who knows what was really going on, if anything. I know he's married and has a son now. His first child was a son. And this I won't say. I guess I won't say the son's name, but it's out there. It's public record. But he got a little family, so I understand his frustration, but he also shouldn't be upset about it. So shout out Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? Shout out Justin Bieber. And all that good stuff. And yeah. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that, really. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into that good. And let's talk about this. I know you guys are waiting, huh? You're like, what is Joel gonna say about this mess? You're like, Joel got some mess today. Lord, all he does is just be talking mess. But let me just go here and see. Oh my God, it ain't gonna be legit. It's just gonna be some mess. But yeah, y'all still waiting, huh? All that mess talking, but you're sitting there watching. I'm just playing. But I want to get into why you keep sinning, right? Everything that I'm going to speak on is things that I've experienced myself and things that are working for me, okay? And the details and the examples I'm going to give are based off of just my life, right? So you can apply it to your life if it makes sense. But obviously everybody goes through different things in different ways. But the principles of what I'm about to share is obviously just the truth, what I believe to be the truth. So, yeah, you can use it for your life. But I want to just talk about why you keep sinning. And I realized, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy because I didn't know this for most of my life. Mind you, I'm still young. I'm in my 30s. So most of my life is not really saying much, you know. But, you know, I'm grown. But I realized that the reason why you can't stop vices or stop sinning or stop doing the things that you say you don't want to do, right, is because you don't want to. And it's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. And you just don't want to. And I realize is that you want to indulge into it, right? You want to indulge. Why? Because indulging provides pleasure, right? It's pretty simple. It just provides pleasure. And that pleasure is satisfying, right? But I want to tell you guys the setups that come with that. Because we all typically kind of know that in some kind of degree, but yet we fall victim easily to the idea of like, I'm being controlled, which is not entirely wrong in that like my traumas, they got a grip on me. And we kind of just, I don't know, play a victim card. And we may not even be doing it intentionally, but we play a victim card of woe is me, my vices, how must I change type of thing. But I want to make it simple, the best that I can, is that there's two ways we get set up. I realize is that this is where setups come in. Is for one, when the temptation hits, right? When the temptation hits to do whatever it may be, you fill in the blank. When a temptation hits, when you say you don't want to do it, you try to fight against it, right? You're fighting against a temptation. And you're feeling it, but you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, right? So you're fighting against it. But the only reason why you're fighting is because you want to do it. Really. The fight is because you want to do it, right? And there's this battle going on in your mind of like, I don't want to do it. I do want to do it. I don't want to. Both of them are coming from the enemy, right? But you really deep down want to do it, because if you did not want to do it, you wouldn't fight with it. You just wouldn't do it, right? Doesn't mean it wouldn't be hard. Doesn't mean that you won't have to endure the pain of pleasure, right? Of like not getting what you want. Doesn't mean that you won't feel that, but you wouldn't fight it because you just wouldn't do it. So that's one of the setups, is that we think that when we're fighting it, it's because we don't want to do it. And that's a setup by Satan. Satan gave you that idea. It's not true. You do want to do it. The second thing, here's the biggest one. Here is where the biggest lie comes in that keeps you stuck. And I'm speaking from experience. That keeps you stuck is when you do the act, the sin, the vice, you do it, and then afterwards, you're like, man, I need to stop. Man, I wish I didn't do that. Man, this or that, right? The guilt. That guilt acts as if it's your conscience. It's a lie, right? Because now you just feel guilty. It's just guilt. Now, after you got what you wanted, you now want to play the victim card. And that's just you being deceived, right? You're just being deceived. The enemy gave you the thought, the lie, and said, yeah, you're right. You know, that's bad. This is bad. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this? When actuality, you know why, right? You want to. It's a trick that's being played constantly on the mind, right? The devil's giving two voices. You want to and you don't want to. You want to stop, but you want to do it. And they're both from him. And when we feel that guilt, that's not God making us feel guilty, saying like, boy, you need to stop. No, it's not. It's a justification for the action that we did. It's a justification. It makes us want to feel like we're a good person. It makes us feel like we are trying, right? And we don't mean to be. So please don't make me suffer the consequences. But what it really is trying to avoid the consequences, right? It's a judgment. It's a setup. And I also realized that, I want to give these solutions that I found that has been working for me, is that the reason that you want to do it, listen, y'all. The reason that you want to do it is because this is so deep to me, is that you're not tired of suffering the consequences of it. And I don't mean consequences like guilt and stuff like that, but you're not tired of suffering the pain of not being free, right? The conflict within. You're not tired of it yet, because you're able to still do your vices, do your sins, and still live a practical life live a normal life, right? It's like you get your cake and eat it too. You still get to go to work. You still get to get paid. You still get to pay your bills and have your vices and have your sins, right? But yet you still have conflict at time. But in that conflict is why you reach out for the sin. And there hasn't been enough suffering in life yet for you to really say you don't, to really drop it, right? To really let it go. And it's not because the devil got a hold on you. It's not because the devil won't let you go, because that gives the devil power if we believe that's the case. Oh, he got me. He got my mind. He got this. No, we want him to have us because he's giving us something in return. He's giving us pleasure. And when we're tired of suffering, then we'll stop. The pain isn't great enough. Because our mind, we're stubborn. Human beings are stubborn, right? We want what we want, and we want to get what we get, and we want to get away with it, right? Even if we're well-meaning, whatever it is, we want to get what we want, and we want to be able to get away with it. And instead of just turning away and just saying, I'm you know what? I want to live a better life. I want life to be easier for me. I want to be free. I want peace. Instead of just turning away from that and doing what you know you ought to do, we get stubborn and we want to hold on to our things and then complain about them, right? But for many people, it takes a smack in the face, a punch in the gut, and I was one of them, right? And I've been pretty stubborn. And I realized that it takes a little punch in the gut, a little slap in the face, a little smack on the ground for you to like really see what's going on. And that's why God uses pain to wake people up, honestly, right? God uses pain to wake people up because that's oftentimes how he has to get your attention. That's how he has to get you to cry out to him, is he got to give you some pain. And that's not him giving it to you. Let me rephrase that. It's more so him allowing you to go down your pathway of hell. Like he's just letting it happen. He's not giving you the pain, but he's just allowing you to suffer in your problems. Like he's pulling the grace away a little bit. It's Grace and Mercy Monday, right? He's pulling the grace a little bit so that way you can go through your mess and hit the bottom or hit the wall, crash and burn for the purpose of waking you up. And that's how it's happened in my life. But it doesn't necessarily have to happen that way. But if that's how it has to be, that's how it has to be. So the solution, and then I'm going to get to some calls and some super chats in a second here. The solution is, first you must see that you want to indulge in these things and just be honest about it. You want to. There's not one thing within you. I did not find that one thing within me that did not want to do it until I realized that I actually just wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it, right? I just wanted to do it. And when you don't want to do it and you're done with it and you want to, move forward, then you will. It's that simple. And God's with you. And he'll never make it too hard for you to move on and none of that. So you got to first see that you want it. And, the last thing is when you decide that you no longer want to do a specific thing, all right, or whatever, you no longer want to do it. It doesn't mean now, because people think that this is what it's like as well, is that People think that like when you no longer want to do it, that you're just free and no more pain, no more nothing, right? Like there's no temptation, you're just free and you're good. But that's not the case. Is now you have to die to the flesh daily. Remember I said in the Bible? Die daily. You have to die daily. So what does that mean? Is that when those temptations come up and you're ready to overcome them, you'll just endure them, right? And the burden won't be too heavy, right? Because Jesus said the burden is light. So it's not going to be anything you can't handle, but you're still going to feel that pain, right? But you have to endure it. You have to push past it. And then it passes and then it gets less and less, right? But when it gets hard, and it ain't going to be easy, but when it gets hard, I'm always reminded that, boy, my little suffering, my little pain ain't nothing compared to when Jesus was up there getting beat, spit on, drugged through the mud, hung on a cross, and yet he didn't cave. He didn't give in. He's standing firm. He stood firm, right? And that's the commitment Jesus made to the world when he came into the world, right? Well, that's what he discovered his purpose was, right? His mission in life was to overcome the world and die for the sins of us, right? And he had to endure. You don't think he ever felt the temptation? You don't think he ever felt the pain? You don't think but he stayed on track. He stood his ground and he didn't cave, and he had to die daily to the flesh. Remember, he was a human being. He was in the flesh. He had to die daily to the flesh, and he had to do that. So we must also do the same as he did and use Jesus as an example if we want to share in the kingdom of heaven on earth, paradise on earth. If we want that, then that's the price that we must pay. But the price is worth it, and the burden is light. It's doable. So that's what I've seen. Just first recognize, if anything, first thing to recognize is that you want to indulge in the things that you do. You choose to. And we have no one else to blame but ourselves for doing it, right? That's the life we're choosing to live because it gives us A, B, and C type of results. And start there, and then you decide from there what you want to do next. But at least you're being honest. Be honest first. Just be honest. Just be real. Do all the things you want to do if you want to keep doing them. If you want to indulge, but at least be real about it. Don't be in denial. That's the worst thing you can do. Because God don't like denial. He don't play with denial. I'm telling you. When I tell you God does not play with denial, God does not play with denial. He is okay more with you doing it, but yet being honest about it, opposed to you doing it and being in denial about it because you don't want to admit to yourself or whatever, or look like a bad person. He don't play with that. He does not play because you're rejecting truth. You're rejecting the truth. And you see what happened to those who reject the truth. Look at Satan and look at his little demons. He don't play with that. So if you're going to do what you do, at least be honest about what you're doing. Be real about it. Be real with yourself. Yeah, I want to do this. I'm doing it. Yeah, that's it. I want the pleasure. I'm into the pleasure right now. I'm gonna get it right. I know I'm gonna get it right. But right now, I'm enjoying the thrills. I'm loving the thrills. Be real. Be real. And that way, you can start to make the proper steps of what to do next. So, be real at first, y'all. Come on. Let's keep it real. Lincoln Lewis said he was being crucified. If he had been able to run, you better believe that boy would have dipped. Nope. Disagree, Lincoln. Jesus would not have ran. He would have stand there and stood his ground. He ain't run before they even captured him. He could have ran. He actually went to them. He went to them to be crucified. But anyway, we get the point. Let me get to a call. Lines are open, 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773. Let me know you guys disagree. Let me know what you guys think. Correct me if you believe that I'm wrong, right? Let's edify each other. We can disagree. JC does it all the time. He calls in, disagrees with me. Food for thought, you know? So you can call in and we can get into it. Let me go to Dennis out of New Jersey. Dennis, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joel. Friday, how you doing? Can you hear me?
All is well, Dennis. I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. That's great.
Right on.
Yeah. So, Justin Bieber and that incident that he's having with the paparazzi, I believe I don't know how, if you keep up with a lot of the scandals that's going on, but they're saying that he was connected to that Diddy stuff.
Yeah, I heard about that. Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
He lived with like Puff Daddy or Sean Combs for a while, and there's a lot of speculations that maybe he was
involved in some kind of way. Yeah, I heard about that. And yeah, they're saying that could be the effect. Who knows? You know, the one thing that's unfortunate, Dennis, that I don't like about, you know, all this this public attention is that people are so nosy, and people will get into your business for the sake of, I don't know, clicks, money, or whatever. And whatever he has going on, the truth is going to come to light, right? If there's something may happen that you shouldn't have done, that's going to be taken care of. But it's not our jobs as human beings to be all up in other people's business trying to expose them or do whatever unless they've done anything that's you know, affected them or whatever. But people need to mind their own business. You know what I mean? I don't need to know all of Justin Bieber's details of what he was into and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Or nah?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It just it's driven by economics. If you go to school for photography or something like that, and you want to make some income off of, you know, what you've learned to do, then, you know, you join the paparazzi and sell your skills that way, you know, taking pictures. I'm sure they invested, you know, several $1,000s in their picture taking equipment or video taking equipment. So, you know, I guess to try to get some return on investment. I don't think it's anything personal that they have against Mr. Bieber. You know, they're just trying to make a dollar.
Well,
it's unfortunate.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you're hearing all kinds of propaganda or innuendo stating that a lot of this information in regards to a Puff Daddy is going to expose a lot of people. And you wonder if some of the people that he's going to expose will be maybe in a political environment, political realm, like Epstein type deal. So I guess the media is hot on it.
No, and you know what? If it were to come out that certain people do these things and their business is out there and that it's true, is that I can understand why somebody is probably like stressed out right now, right? Because they did these things and they probably didn't think it was so bad at the time. And they let it go and they got their little success. Because I hear stories about that all the time, Dennis, where people do insane things for the sake of success, right? Or in a sense, sell their soul, right, for the sake of success, and they try to wipe underneath the rug, but you can't do that. You know what I mean? Is that there's a price to be paid for that when you don't do things the proper way. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's people stressed right now attached to Diddy and just being haunted by these memories and like afraid of their lives being exposed. So they're stressing out or they're trying to avoid the paparazzi because I wouldn't be surprised because that whole Diddy thing is a major issue right now.
Yeah, sure is. And I didn't grow up with the in the best conditions, but I can't never see myself like selling my soul or allowing like a media entertainment mongol like a Sean Puffy Combs, violate me just so I can make some money. Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So it's unfortunate that I guess he found the people that were willing to compromise themselves, you know, and they were probably on the brink of or the teetering on being those type of people that would compromise themselves, and he just, pushed them over the edge, I suppose.
Yeah,
And I wanted
it's a
to
mess.
talk about the Trump terrorists, if that ain't
No,
too
yeah,
much.
no, feel free.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of stuff about this Trump terrorist. And,
Yeah, what do you think about him?
yeah, I'm trying to keep my eye on it. I got some money in the stock market, and I want to see how this stuff turning out. I was just watching the last show with Hate. He was talking about the UBI and whether and I'm trying to guess what the future is going to hold financially for the country. And we've been using China for cheap wages for several years now, and with all of this artificial intelligence and robots that's supposed to be hitting the market soon, I suppose they think they're going to replace that cheap labor with AI and robots and
Yeah,
stuff like that. They don't have to purchase the stuff from there anymore. But one of the things that I heard Trump talking about, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but he's talking about that fentanyl crisis. So apparently the Mexican mafia or these drug cartels in Mexico, they're like buying the precursors on the black market from China and then using their chemistry students or the kids, in Mexico that has degrees in chemistry, forcing them
yeah,
to concoct this fentanyl and then, sending it across the border to, get people to have it sold in the United States.
yeah.
So I guess Trump thinks that by putting all these tariffs on China, that he's going to be able to shut down a lot of their illegal markets that's going on.
Yeah.
But
I hope
I don't
so.
know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I hope so. I love the tariff thing. I love that Trump's doing putting tariffs on these other people because when I was reading a little bit about it, and obviously what it's doing is it's encouraging people who are doing business outside of the U.S. to come back to the U.S. And also if it also encourages other countries to rely on the U.S. But pay the U.S. for their business. And what that does is that obviously that increases the deficit, the debt that we have in the United States, but also that's how it should be. And I don't know if how much people were putting tariffs on other countries before President Trump was in there, but I know that he's going hard on it, and people are mad about it or upset about it. But what I think he's going to be doing, what this is all doing, is kind of course correcting the economy, and it might be bad for a second, right? Prices might rise, stuff might happen, but in the long term, in the long run, it's going to even out the system. So I think Trump knows what he's doing, and I think he should keep doing it.
Well, the thing with it is normally the way that the United States economy conducts business internationally is, everyone works off of, the United States dollar as the international currency. And we do that by, we do that by allowing other countries build up their economy off of feeding off of ours.
Yeah.
So we've let a lot of these third world countries, build themselves up off of our economy. And in exchange, we continue to make the U.S. dollar the most powerful dollar in the world. But all of these terrorists is going to influence a lot of these countries that have been, working with us to build up their economy to start working with each other and maybe leave the United States dollar, the international currency, and they're even talking about BRICS, where Russia, China, South Africa, South America
And you think that's
ally.
you think that's a bad idea?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, it's going to make the stock market, the international global stock market, like, just go crazy, because if everybody's been purchasing everything using the United States dollar, what's going to happen to the value of our dollar when they don't need to use the United States dollar to buy their oil from Iraq or something like that, or Iran, or wherever or Saudi Arabia, wherever they get it from? They don't need it no more. Does that devalue our dollar? What happens, you know?
I mean, I think that ultimately, if whatever is being done, and hopefully, because all we can do is hope, and it's fair that everybody has their different like perspectives on it, and hopefully Trump will just do the right thing and throw these tariffs on, but just enough to where he's not overdoing it. And no matter what happens, as long as if he's doing the right thing, it'll all work out. And if people leave and the countries no longer want to do business with the U.S., and like you said, it decreases the dollar, whatever the case is, it'll be worked out to where that doesn't happen. And the countries that don't want to operate with the U.S. because they don't want to pay these prices, then that's on them. And I think they'll be affected more than the U.S. will. So I think Trump is doing what he sees is right to do. And if he's doing too much, I think he'll fix it. And I think that his team will jump on him. So I'm just trusting the process, and I'm trusting what he has going on is what's needed at this point. But I got
I mean, he clearly knows way more about economics than any of us do. Right. So we'll just let him figure it out. Just hopefully he's making the right decision.
Right, and then time will tell. Right, it won't take a smart person to know what is actually working and what is actually working in our favor here in the U.S. So time will tell, and we just gotta let time tell. But I appreciate it, Dennis. I'm running out of time here. I gotta get some other calls. Thank you, man.
All right, thanks.
All right. I was gonna get to a little bit of the terrorists here, but let me get back to some calls, and then if we have time, we'll get back into it. Because I did have a couple things I wanted to say. Not much, but a few things. Let me go to Chase at Texas. First-time caller, Chase. Chase, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, Chase?
It's going pretty good.
Right on.
I'm a little spacey headed, but I'm sober and I'm good to go. So I think what I was going to talk about was you're bringing up Justin Bieber and all the Hollywood stuff, and this is all Illuminati crap. It's just, to me, every bit of it's satanic. It's all subliminal. It all comes from one source. It's all from the same thing. It's like that money pyramid. Remember when they were always talking about that? Like, I heard a lot of it in jail. I used to hear a lot of young black kids always talk about the Illuminati in the magazines, and I always roll my eyes, be like, yeah, whatever, man. These little black kids don't know anything.
Right.
Turns out they were right. Those kids were right. That they weren't lying. And now it's getting exposed. Now we're starting to see what's really going on. It's human trafficking. It's all tied into the same thing. It's psyops and stuff like that. And by the way, Samantha, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Samantha.
Hi. Hi.
Nice, but
okay. Yeah.
Let me jump in there.
That's my niece. That's my family. So,
okay, right on. Let me jump in there real quick. Chase, is that, with the Illuminati thing, I think it's a good point. Is that a lot of people were thinking that this Illuminati thing is, what's the Illuminati? Is it real? And I do think it's real. But what I think is what's really also going on is that I think it's even deeper than the Illuminati, because the picture that's been painted is that Illuminati was this like secretive group, right, of like elites or people who intentionally behave in this way to try to like overthrow Hollywood or control Hollywood or make money, right? But I think there's something even more sinister at hand, is those that are selling souls unconsciously, right? Or those who are doing it in such a way as just giving their body up, or like doing favors for favors. That also is, to me, on more of a mass scale is what happens in Hollywood. And I think that with Diddy, this Diddy stuff and all these other artists who are, getting caught up for all this stuff, if it's true, these things are just coming to light, like you said. And there's a lot more people who sell their souls, and selling your soul is not so much as just a ritual. You know what I mean? Selling your soul can just be going against what you believe to be true, going against your morals for the sake of having things or wanting things, and that's
but
selling your soul.
But don't we all pretty much do that though? I mean, you do that whether you realize it or not. It's not that what. Oh, here. You're welcome. It's not that you're necessarily giving your soul to like the music industry and everything else, but I think what it is, it's a manipulation of the human soul.
Yes.
To give itself up, and then you're selling it to manipulate other souls. Whereas if you're just doing on a low level, you're not doing that much damage.
Well, but
I mean, you can be a screw up. You can be a drug addict. You can be a criminal. You can have done some stuff in your life, but that doesn't mean that you're selling your soul in the same way. These people are not. These people are trying to manipulate the system, trying to manipulate humanity.
There is intentional. I think that there is intentional people, like you're saying, who are actually the controllers behind the scenes doing these things. I do agree with that. I don't think that that's a conspiracy theory at all. I think that's true. But I think that there's even more people that are selling their souls on a regular scale, like a lot closer to home than what you think. I think most people sell their souls by going against certain things, or even being in denial about certain things and lying about certain things. Like all that stuff plays a part, and once you start to really look at it, you'll see that it might be you, it might be me, it might be on a daily just selling your soul in different ways. And I think that we need to not try to just narrow it down to just this group behind the scenes, but also look at like, no, there's people who...
That's what I was saying, man. It's a manipulation of the human soul.
Yes.
And these people are the masters of it. And look, and I'm going to tell you straight up, and my niece will tell you right now, my family has got Freemasonry. Isn't that right, Samantha?
Yep.
We have Freemasonry in our family. We know this stuff. This is a real thing. It is a full-blown... It's an attempt to form humanity the way they want it to be formed. And they're using a huge megaphone to do it. If you're doing it on a small level, like say that's not an issue. It's like the low level masonry, right? You people in the chat, I'm sure folks have known, especially if you've been in the military and stuff like that. You've known some people that have been masons, and they're good people. People work up at the VA, up the street, they're good people. They're masons, and they're good people. But the people on the highest levels that get selected to be in the highest levels, that's when it gets dangerous, because those people are the ones that are chosen. They're the ones that are allowed to be able to, kind of pull the strings of humanity.
And this wasn't always. And the thing was that back then you were able to get away with it because there was no cameras, there was no exposing, there was no internet, to where there was like these personal investigations that are going on now with the internet, to where you can find out so many things and you can be exposed. So they were able to get away with it a lot more back then, but now everybody is kind of seeing the truth. The truth is kind of being revealed, and on a mass scale. So I think...
they're human traffickers. That's what they do, man. They're human traffickers. They literally want to genetically manipulate everything they can. And that's what they're using Hollywood to try and do. Like, if you go back all the way back to and I know that a lot of the people, a lot of the white people in the chat that, say stuff about Jews would probably know who Kalergi is and what they're trying to do with that. And so they're trying to use it. They're not doing a very good job. You can tell they're not, but they're doing good enough where they're wrecking people. They're using Hollywood all the way back to the 60s, and of course, like I said, I'll straight up tell you, yes, I've been doing drugs since I was a kid. Yeah. Everyone in my family has been doing drugs, or has stopped, or has done drugs, and blah blah blah. And I'm an idiot. I'll do some stupid things, but I know when to. I know actually really don't when to knock it off and let my life be my life. But they use drugs and they use subliminal messaging, and they use Hollywood, they use the music industry,
Yeah.
they use movies.
Intentionally
when I
too.
get in-
Intentionally
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. They don't
Yeah.
want you. They don't want you to be able to. I mean, I'm kind of getting off track here. I'm kind of a little bit distracted, but they don't want you to be able to think for yourself. They want to think
Yeah.
for you.
Well,
And if they can get in your head, they're going to do that on
Yeah.
a massive scale. When you walk in a store, man, you walk into a Walmart, and what are you hearing? You're seeing subliminal messages. You're seeing advertisements. Look at the the DEI stuff.
Yeah.
Watch all of the white people. You won't see their faces.
Yeah. You know, I think you're right here because I'm running out of time here, Chase. I think that I think that you're right, and I agree with you. But I think though also is that it's our duty not to get too caught up into these things and overreact. You know what I mean? Because when we do that, then we tend to make it more of a bigger deal than it is, and then when we get angry, we react in the wrong way. So I think that the truth will be exposed, and it's good enough to know that we have our eyes open and we're being aware of this stuff, but we shouldn't try to get too caught up in it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because and getting caught up in it too. Yeah, you're going to get. You're going to end up thinking too much on it, using too much of your brain, and a lot of people don't. And I don't know if this is going to sound arrogant or whatever. Say what you want about me, but most people aren't. Their brains aren't really wired to be able to handle the amount of information. So if you do, you're going to get distracted. If you can handle it, you can handle the amount of information.
Yeah.
Then you're okay. It sucks, but you can still handle it.
And if
your
emotions,
can't, there's no reason because you can get manipulated by it.
Yeah, 100%. And if the emotions get caught up in it, your passions get involved, then you become no different because you're judging it, and now you're. So it's like we just gotta, be aware of it, but not get too caught up in it. But I appreciate it, Trace. Yeah. Good points. I agree, man. Sure. And call me again, and we get into it.
All right, I got to sleep next time because I've been up all night and I've been, it's been wild. So.
All right, man, get some rest.
I'll call in again when I'm a little more clear headed. So.
All right, sounds good, man. All right,
yes, sir.
Have a good one. Nice. I'm gonna get to some super chats here really quick. We gotta get to these super chats. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to these super chats. Oh, I think and some buy me a coffees as well. We have John Zimmer. Shiny happy Monday to all. Thanks for sharing. Right on, John Zimmer. I appreciate that. Happy Monday to you as well. Happy Grace and Mercy Monday. Ha. Thank you, John. Angband Art. Thanks, Joel. Keep up the amazing work. I appreciate it, Angband. I shall. Thank you, man. I have a couple of buy me a coffees here. I get to those. Interesting points being made over here on buy me a coffee. I want to make sure I get to that. We have Eric Harlan with a few donuts says, only our ego has wants. It's impossible for the real you to be unhappy. It's the fake you that's always looking for something. Children of God follow the truth. Children of the lie chase a feeling. Ooh. We use vices because our ego is chasing a feeling. Exactly. For example, emotional eating is eating to calm the imagination because when thoughts are calm, the body is calm. 100%, Eric. Only our ego has wants. Yes, but here's the thing. Is that you can still know that your ego is not the real you, right? And you can know that and it be true. But it's the identifying with the ego. Even if you know it, if you still identify it with it, it'll still affect you, which I'm sure you know this. But I'm just adding on to the point, is that, like I was saying earlier, is when you're tired of chasing that feeling is when you actually stop. So it's not understanding that the ego is the problem, right? Because you can know that, but even knowing that isn't going to stop it, right? It's not going to, it may help a little bit. It may help, but what's going to stop it is you saying, I no longer want to live this life. I no longer want to give into the cravings of the ego. And you start working on that. That's what has to change it, right? And whether that be pain that's doing it, revelation, whatever it may be, that's what's needed in order to really overcome. But you're 100% right, is that our ego is the one with the wants. The real us is not that. 100%, Eric. That's deep, man. And Heat says, strongly disagree. Jesus said, go and sin no more, not go and indulge and enjoy. Joel, quit encouraging people to indulge in unrighteous behavior. I didn't know I was doing that. We were set apart to be holy, not lawless, with no self-control. Yes, I agree that we are to do what is right. Right? But God never said that you have to. God never said you better. God didn't even say you should, right? Because all those are force. All those are pressure. I don't believe God is into that. God wants you to choose. If you don't want to do that, then he'll let you go be what you want. Go do what you want. So what I'm saying is that if you still want to do these things and live the lifestyle that you're living, at least be honest about your behavior so that way you're the first step and then it'll start to change, right? Because in denial is where Satan keeps you. So I'm not telling people just go. I'm saying that be real about your situation. And you'll live a better life, obviously, of course, if we overcome. So you got my words wrong in Heat. I ain't saying that. You sound like Satan convincing, and Heat sends another donut. I appreciate the donut still, and Heat. You sound like Satan convincing 1/3 of the angels to rebel against God. It's not true. The Father is and gave us his own Son, Jesus. We are able to do all things according to his will and his glory. In the spirit of grace and mercy and money, thanks for the discussion. Yes, but if you don't want to do it, then you're not going to. What it sounds like you may be saying, and he is you want people to do it because, oh my God, they're sinners if they don't. That's not how God operates. Right? I'm not convincing anybody to do anything. I'm not telling them they should go do this. I'm not telling them anything. I'm telling them to live the life that you want to live. You can't force somebody in Heat to be different. And even if you can't, just because you say that we can do all things through God, don't make it that powerful. Don't make that true unless you see that for yourself and want to see that for yourself. And yes, you can overcome all things. That was my message today. If you want to stop, you will, because you have the power within. I don't know if you're listening, and but I appreciate the discussion as well, and the donuts. Amazing stuff. I gotta end. I appreciate you guys tuning in and the super chats, the calls, and all that good stuff. Shout out to Dennis and Chase. Thank you guys for the calls. American Anchor Baby is coming. Oh, before I leave you guys here, I'm telling you, Punchy TV episode today, you do not want to miss it. We had a guest. We had Mr. Kit. You do not want to miss this. I have a little teaser here I want to show you guys before I leave. Do not miss the Fallen State today at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Pacific Daylight time. Right? Make sure you guys check that out. Here's a teaser for that really quick. We have here Kit. He's a dating coach from London.
I think every man wants to be in a position where he has an abundance of women and he is respected by other men.
Yeah, that's a mess. Are you a Christian? To me, a prenup is basically telling the lady, I doubt you, I don't trust you.
There is no such thing as trusting a woman and being right about it.
We're talking about a finger on a nuke.
You'll never divorce because you know and believe that that's not in the cards for you. It's impossible.
If you're married and she cheats, are you leaving?
Make sure you guys check that out. It was an incredible episode. We had fun and we got into stuff. It got a little wild for a second, and you don't want to miss it. We got prenup. We got into all kinds of stuff, and it got spicy. So check that out at 2 p.m. Today. American Anchor Baby's coming in right now. Make sure you check out his show coming up next here on YouTube, and right after him, Punchy TV. Until next time, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back if the Lord is willing. Bye.